To understand life in the farthest corners of America, you have to see it. The beauty of nature, the rugged, unforgiving cold, and the people of Alaska. It's the people across a state more than twice the size of Texas, with traditions as old as the mountains, who will show you what perseverance through a crisis really looks like. We learned firsthand what it takes to protect these rural communities from COVID-19, a journey that began thousands of miles away. After 2 flights and a COVID screening at the airport, we arrived in Fairbanks, Alaska. The next morning, we were up before the sun, an easy task when it rises at 9:30 a.m. We were about to embark on a trip dedicated pharmacists make every day to drop off vaccines in Alaska's remote villages. But not before one more COVID-19 test.
Up to about right there, twirl it to the other side.
Oh gosh, I've never done this on myself.
Once we were cleared for travel, we headed to the pharmacy to meet Dan Nelson.
So first thing is just come in, get all the vaccines prepared.
Each morning, he begins loading up needles, syringes, and coolers of the vaccine.
We transport some of it frozen and some of it thawed.
Every trip to each village is different. Dan has to calculate how far and how long he'll travel to make sure the vaccines don't spoil.
We only have like so many hours of ground or air transport.
The vaccines must stay just cold enough, but it's a careful balance. Alaska's sub-zero temperatures can make doses too cold and ruin them.
About -5 right now.
They must also be packed tightly.
They're really sensitive to any sort of vibration or anything like that, so we have to put it in all sorts of padding.
With the supplies ready, it's time to head to Tok, a village of fewer than 1,300 people, more than 200 miles away.
Hop on the airplane, take it as our taxi cab, essentially.
Everyone has seatbelts fastened, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, master on, bags on.
After a 1-hour flight, we landed in Tok.
One, and there's number 2.
We arrived to the clinic with moments to spare before patients started checking in.
Hi, here for your COVID shot.
That's when Dan handed off the prized cargo to the team.
Did you have any problems for the last dose?
It takes hours of work all to deliver just 100 doses. But it's work this pharmacist says.
We're really proud of, I think, a little bit over 5,000, about 5,500 doses probably by the end of the day today that we will have administered. About half of those are out in our rural areas. And we had a ski plane that delivered, literally, it's landing out on a frozen lake on the ice.
The Tanana Chiefs Conference, a group representing dozens of tribes in Alaska's interior, have even gone by snowmobile and dog sled to deliver vaccines. It's an effort that's helping protect indigenous tribes who have been hit hard by this virus.
You want it in the left arm?
Left arm, yes.
The Alaska Native American Indian populations have been disproportionately affected by COVID. And the problem is when someone gets sick out here in the middle of nowhere, it's not like you just go down to the urgent care clinic or to the emergency room. It's a $20,000 medevac.
For tribal leader Herbert Demet, he's watched friends and family pass away without a chance to receive life-saving care.
I've lost elders that I looked up to, and it's like you lose somebody in a different community, and it affects us all.
For many Native Alaskan tribes, the virus has taken loved ones and tradition away all at once.
We deal with death in a certain way, and we were not able to, deal with it like we usually do.
Daisy Northway dealt with the loss of a child in the midst of the pandemic.
I couldn't even see my son, and he didn't even have COVID. I couldn't go to the hospital. He was gone before I was able to say my last goodbyes.
And when she wanted to lean on her tribal ways the most, she was deprived of her community.
The practice that helps us to renew our spirits, we were no longer able to do that.
That's why these two and so many others rushed to this clinic to get their vaccine, some driving more than 100 miles from surrounding villages.
Doing okay?
Mm-hmm.
I do feel a sense of relief.
Alaska has vaccinated the highest percentage of its population of any state. Even with fewer people, the conditions haven't made it easy.
As a patient, when you come in, you don't see the madness that comes with, supplying this vaccine to the people.
It's a welcome madness and a beacon of light for Daisy.
Having had the shot gives us hope
A gift Dan says his team will do anything to give.
Just to fly 100 doses, we had to get an airplane, so it's got to cost a lot of money, right?
Thousands of dollars, yeah, upwards of $8,000. But we're glad to be getting people healthy and getting on the other end of this pandemic that we've all been so looking forward to.
It was a happiness we could feel radiating through this isolated snowy village and all who call it home.
Here is an opportunity that was given to us to allow us life.
A chance they never knew would come from a fragile bottle carried hundreds of miles to help them, one holding the strength to end this community's deep sorrow. For The Race, I'm Alexa Liacco.